The mind, for all its brilliance, is a fragile vessel, easily swayed by emotion, distorted by ego, and limited by its own experience. We trust in our own understanding, believing it to be absolute, yet time humbles us, revealing how little we truly know. The more we lean on our own perceptions, the heavier our burdens become. For what is the mind but a single lens, shaped by bias, confined by memory, and clouded by desire? Many suffer not because life is inherently cruel, but because they refuse to accept that their perspective is incomplete. They seek certainty in an uncertain world, clinging to rigid beliefs that fracture under the weight of reality. They wrestle with questions that demand surrender, trying to mould existence into their own design, rather than aligning themselves with its natural order. And so, suffering deepens, not from the nature of life itself, but from the resistance to it. True wisdom is not found in the rigid certainty of one's own thoughts, but in the humility to recognise their limitations. It is in the ability to unlearn, to open oneself to knowledge beyond the self, and to understand that the world is far vaster than what one mind can comprehend. The man who leans solely on his own understanding is a prisoner of his own mind, shackled by the walls he has built around himself. But the man who seeks wisdom beyond himself finds a freedom unknown to those who remain confined in their own assumptions. To navigate life without humility is to carry a map of land that no longer exists. The terrain shifts, the seasons change, and the landmarks erode. Yet many stubbornly follow paths they have drawn for themselves, refusing to acknowledge that the landscape has moved beneath their feet. In their refusal to adapt, they turn what could have been a journey of discovery into an endless struggle against forces beyond their control. The weight of existence does not belong on your shoulders alone. Life is not a puzzle to be solved through sheer intellect, nor a burden to be carried by solitary will. It is an unfolding experience, a lesson whispered through time, a force that cannot be mastered by one perspective alone. And when one learns to release the illusion of absolute understanding, they do not fall into ignorance, they rise into wisdom. It is only when you let go of the need to control every outcome that life begins to reveal its deeper truths. Peace is not found in the endless pursuit of knowing, but in the quiet acceptance that not all things are meant to be understood. In surrendering the illusion of certainty, you do not lose power, you gain clarity. And in that clarity, you will find that life does not become easier, but it becomes lighter. Life becomes harder when you lean on your own understanding. In my life, when it came to doing anything of importance or relevance to me and to improving my life, I always saw it as difficult. I always just saw it as being difficult, as being hard. I always felt lazy as an individual because I was leaning on my own understanding. I was interpreting things that way. When it came to me having to get up and go to the gym, I was thinking, I can't really be arsed. I didn't want to get up and go to the gym, even though it was good for me, because I was leaning on my own belief, my own understanding of what was needed to be done to get to the gym, to then do the gym, to get home from the gym. But once you just get rid of your own understanding and you genuinely just start processing it as, this is good for me, get up anyway and go do it, that's when you really start to have that motion in your life, that momentum build. Because for me, once I just took that first leap of faith and I decided to just do it anyway instead of leaning on my own belief and understanding of how I felt at the time, things just got so much better for me, and they'll get better for you. We all interpret things in a different way. We all think certain things are harder than maybe someone else may think they are. Someone else may believe that it's an easy task and you may believe that it's a harder task, and because you lean on your own understanding, you make it harder for yourself. That was the same thing for me. I was seeing people getting up, smashing the gym, eating well, doing all these good habits. And I was wondering, how are they doing these things? Because they're just getting up. They're just going to do them. And for me in my life, once I stopped leaning on my own understanding of laziness and contemplation to go and do things based off how I saw them, it got easier for me. I started to do them. And when you start to act upon things because you know it's right instead of knowing it's hard, you then actually adapt that as your own understanding. You eventually that actually becomes your understanding. You start to lean on wanting to do something because you know it's right. And that's what happened in my life. So yeah, away from the narration, I always come to first person and explain that sort of idea to you, or whatever the title of the video is. And also what I like to do is, at the end of these videos, if you have made it here and you're still here listening, I like to go over my plan every evening in my life to sort of show you how I use the lesson of each video, or how I use each narrative in my own life. So we always do a summary of the day, and the way I'm going to use this narration or this sort of title is to praise myself very much. I could sit here and be like, yep, very, very hard day, I pushed hard regardless. But no, it's just like very, very focused, extremely disciplined, well-earned day. It's about self-praising. For me, before, I would write, okay, yeah, it wasn't your best day, you could have worked harder. And yeah, I could work harder. But sometimes it's about building that momentum. And I've found in my own life that when you praise yourself and you give yourself that self-praise, you just feel even more confident to go smash it again the next day. That's what's worked for me personally, other than trying to purposely put yourself down. That worked at the start because I know I had big improvement to make. I still got big improvement to make in my life. I still got further to go. But with this confidence and this praise, I build momentum, which actually excels me even more. So that's my sort of summary. It's just a short one for today. It's one of my best days in a long time in my life. Really hard working for me. And yeah, we also do a task list. Today I had a self haircut, you saw, got done. I went to the gym in the morning. Content, meals, reading and meditation, both done. You all saw that, other than the gym, which I'm not able to record in or get clips from. So I just usually just let you lot know. Tomorrow I've got gym, I've got sauna, I've got reading and meditation, I've got meals. I haven't got much tomorrow. My Wednesdays are very much the same as Mondays. It's just about smashing a load of content out, smashing a load of editing out, and just trying my best, getting my meals done. Just the main things, the main priorities. What I also like going over is every single task I have to do for the next day. And before I do so, I want to also actually remind you, nothing changes if nothing changes. I do this plan every day because I work every day, I do content every day, I eat good meals every day. You can't allow yourself balance. I'm not a big believer in balance, and that's why when I used to lean on my own understanding of balance and, for me to do all this good, I should allow myself to also do a bit of bad. Nothing changed. I was going around in circles. When I understood that, stop leaning on that understanding or that belief of you've got to do that or you've got to have balance. Just lean on the fact that, and believe in the fact that doing it every day is the right thing to do, and the benefits it's going to, have in your life. So just do it every day. Don't allow yourself to do bad things because they're bad, right? So yeah, all the things I've got to do tomorrow. I'm going to wake up at 5:30, go to the gym, the sauna. I'm going to come home, read, meditate, have my first meal, shower, loads of content to film, edit, loads of content, do the narration for this video as well that you're currently seeing. And yeah, loads of other things I've got to do tomorrow. More planning, more reading, more meditation in the evening. I also do as well before I go to bed. So important to settle and get in bed to make sure you can get a good and fast recovery. So yeah, that's basically a lot of my day you've seen, and that is the narration, and that's the end of the video. And I hope you've taken in some good advice from this. I hope you've understood the lesson today that you should not lean on your own understanding and your own belief system, but to forge a new belief system and a new understanding. And the way you do that is first leaning on the knowledge of what you know is right. First doing what you know is right, and eventually through doing what you know is right for long enough, that will then become your understanding. That will then become your belief system on an everyday basis. That's the key, showing up for yourself every day. So hope you took away from this. If you did, make sure to give me a like. Hopefully, subscribe if you want to see more of these. I post these every single day. And a comment would be much appreciated as well for any tips you believe, on ways I can improve these videos. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Good night and goodbye for now, and on to another one tomorrow.